This is Rosario Cadenas, College Algebra 102 to 116, and today I'm going to show you how to graph an ellipse. Okay, so this is my problem. 4x squared plus y squared plus 24x minus 2y plus 21 equals 0. We have to find the center, we have to find the foci, and we have to graph it. So my first step that I'm going to do right now is to make this 21 go on this side. So we're going to subtract that 21 over here. So now, and I'm also going to reorganize my equation and have the x's together and the y's together. So I'm going to have 4x squared plus 24x plus y squared minus 2y equals negative 21. That's our new equation. Okay, now the next thing I'm gonna do is I wanna get this 4 out of here. I wanna simplify my equation. So I'm going to put 4 outside of the parentheses because it is the common factor between 4 and 24. And I'm not going to take the x because that was very important. So we're going to keep the x's. So we're going to have x, 4 parentheses x squared plus 6x comma. And then on our next part of the equation, I don't need to take anything out of this because it's already y squared. There's no number to take out. So we're just gonna keep it there and keep it at, oh, before I forget, as I do this, I want to make sure I leave room for this other number that we're gonna include. We're gonna have a complete the square situation right now. Okay? So that when we deal with this problem, we can easily put it back into the square. So let's leave room. Then we're gonna do plus y squared minus 2y. And we're gonna also add space to complete the square there. Equals, and then I'm gonna kind of move the equation down here a little bit because I'm running out of room, but it's gonna be negative 21, 20, oh my goodness, negative 21, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, negative 21, it's been a very long day. Let's just erase this real quick. Okay, so it's gonna be negative 21 plus box, and then plus our squiggly line. I will rewrite that so it's more clear. But first, let's deal with our next part, which is we're gonna take this middle number here, the 6x, right? We're gonna bring it down here. We're gonna be 6 divided in half, and then we're gonna square it. So I have 6 divided by 2 equals 3, and then we're gonna square that, and we're gonna get 9, and that is gonna go into this box right here. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. So we're gonna have negative 2, and it's negative 2 because you see that negative sign right there? Negative 2, cut that in half, divide it by 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 equals negative 1. And then square that, and I just get a positive 1. So I'm gonna put that over here. So I'm gonna distribute those values on the opposite side with my negative 21 to balance out my equation. But I have to remember that for the 9, I'm also taking it with the 4 because I'm gonna multiply these. So I think I'm just gonna multiply them already so that I have more room. So 9 times 4 is 36. And since there's nothing here, I'm not going to multiply anything. So I'm going to just leave it at that 1. So let's rewrite the equation and make it cleaner. So we have 4 outside of the parentheses, x squared plus 6x plus 9 parentheses plus, let's put parentheses, y squared minus 2y plus 1 equals, okay, so I can already make this simpler and put 36 plus 1, which is 37, minus 21, which equals a positive 16. So I can put that down here already. Okay, so this is our more simplified. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factor these equations. So let's think. What gives me, let's do the factoring actually. So it will be x squared, so that I know I have 2 x's, right? And then I have 6 and 9, and I know a common number between both of them is 3. And since these are 2 positive signs, I know that it's going to be a positive number, or it's going to be a positive sign. So let's just redo it. So it's x squared, and then let's add, like, so it's going to be plus 3x, which is 6x, and then 3 times 3 is 9, so we know that's right. I'm just going to erase that real quick to give myself some more room. It's beautiful. So we're going to rewrite that as 4x plus 3 squared. Okay, so that's the simplified version of this. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So plus, so I have y squared minus 2y plus 1. So I know that it's going to be a negative sign because of this right here. So I have y minus, and because of this 1, I know it's a 1 because it's going to be 1 times itself, which equals 1, and then a negative 1 along, plus another negative 1, which equals negative 2. So it's going to be y minus 1 squared, and then we're going to equal that to 16. Okay, now that we have done that, we are going to divide the 16 on both sides because we want to get a 1 over here on this side. So because that's the standard form of this equation. So we're going to divide this by 16, divide both parts of the equation by 16. So now my equation looks like this. On this side, I have a common factor of 4, so I'm going to divide that by 4. So it's kind of not, you can see that right there. So it'll be x plus 3 squared over 16 divided by 4, which is 4. And then since there is nothing here to divide it by, I'm just going to keep that as is. So we're going to have it plus y minus 1 squared over 16 equals 1. Okay, now that we have this equation, we're going to start graphing. Right now, I can say right off the bat, I know that my center is going to be the opposite signs of these. So center is going to be negative 3 and a positive 1. All right, I'm gonna erase this and clean all this up, and we're gonna start graphing. Okay, so my board is clear, and this is where we left off. So this is, I rewrote this. This is my center. We're gonna keep this in red so that I can show you on the graph, which is what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna start the graph because I know what my center point is, which is at negative 3 and 1. make this graph. I like to give myself a lot of room just in case. Let's label it Y and X. Okay, so I know my point is at 3 and -3 and 1. So let's do 1, 2, 3, -3, 1, 1. So the point is right. Oh, my goodness. I immediately forgot. My point is right here. That is my center point. Do you see that? Okay, awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at these denominators and we're going to square them. So we knew that 4 is 2 squared, right? The simplified version. And we know that 16 is 4 squared. So which one of these is larger? 4 squared is. And since 4 squared is larger and it's under the y, we know that that means my graph is going to stretch vertically. So I can't really show you that much, but we know that my graph is going to stretch vertically because 4 squared is larger than 2 squared and is under the y. So we know that my graph is going to go more like this shape. Okay, so now that we know 4 squared and 2 squared, we know that I'm going to go up 4 on the y-axis and down 4 on the y-axis. So let's add those points. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is at a positive 5. 1, 2, 4. But I can't forget the 0 is a point. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is at a -3. Let's put that into blue. So we know these are my 2 vertices here. This is going to be V1. This is going to be V2. I can also put down my co-vertices, which is going to be across 2 on the y-axis. So from this point 1, 2, which is at a -1. So I'm gonna have that. In blue too, right here, and then a 1, 2 on towards the negatives. 1, 2 at -5. So those are my co-vertices. Oh, which reminds me, since I know what my vertices are, I can actually write that down. So we're going to put V. So where's our vertex 1 at? That is at -3, +5. And then my vertex 2 is at -3, -3. So those are my vertices. I could draw a circle, but first I want to solve for the foci. So the foci, in order to get that, the equation is going to be c squared equals a squared minus b squared. And a squared is always going to be the larger number. So a squared in this instance is 4 squared. So c squared now equals 4 squared minus 2 squared. So 4 squared minus 2 squared, which when you write that down, or sum it up, it's 16 minus 4. So c squared equals 16 minus 4, which is 12. Now I have to square it, which, oh my goodness, let me tell you, squaring 12. So we're going to square that. This is where I should probably do the little thing that you guys showed me. So what makes up 12? 6 and 2, right? 6 and 2. What makes up 6 is 2, and 3. So what c squared is going to be, what 12 squared is going to be is 2 square root 3. That equals 12 squared. But if I were to do this in decimal form, can you still see that? Oh, you can't still see that. Okay, so if I were still to do this in decimal form, I actually put out in the calculator, let me just double check that right now, I would get 3.46. So it is either 2 square root 3 or 3.46. So we're going to go on my y-axis and do 3.46. That's just easier for me, the decimal point. So let's do, just to count, 1, 2, 3, wait, I'm off. 1, 2, 3.4. This is gonna be foci 1, and then 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna do slightly, wait a second, did I do this right? No, I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 0.4. Wait a second, did I do this right? V2 would be down. Oh my gosh. Why am I questioning this? It's 3.46. I'm supposed to be going down 4 for this. Okay, so you're seeing me solve a problem right now. So for V2, I'm supposed to be going down 4 because it's 4 squared, right? And that's the larger one, and I'm going down my y-axis, up and down 4. So I remember it being at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it is just my point that's a little off. It's supposed to kind of be right here. That's what's throwing me off. Okay. So I'm okay, I'm chilling. Sorry, sidetrack. So that is where it's a little off, and that's important because I'm about to go down 3 for my point. 1, 2, 3, slight 0.46, which is going to be right there, which is going to be F2. That is my second foci point. So let's actually write that down. My foci points are going to be -3, up 4, and then let's see, -3, oh, not up 4. How could I forget? How could I forget? I apologize. It is not up 4. It is going to be 1 because of my point right here. It's going to be 1 minus 2 square root 3 and -3, 1 plus 2 square root 3. That's the most accurate way. I was getting confused because of my graph, but this is like the accurate way on how to label your foci, especially if you get one that doesn't have a clear square root. So now I'm going to connect those dots. Let's do it in blue. It's a little wonky. But this is how you solve an ellipse. This is how you solve an ellipse. So I got my center point at -3, 1. my vertices at -3, 5, and -3, -3. My foci at -3, 1, -2, square root 3, and -3, 1, plus 2, square root 3. And this is my graph. And that is how you solve and graph an ellipse. Thank you. I just apologize that I was so off on this one. It's been a very long day.